Hi, my name's Alex Murley. I'm a videographer and I'm here working for Monster Energy. So, in sort of what feels like a past life now, I race motorbikes professionally. I've raced in British Championships, European Championship, and even through to World Supersport 600, and predominantly in World Supersport 300 in what feels like a lifetime ago now, at 23 years old, but yeah, bit of a change of career now. Picked behind the camera instead of the other side of it, and yeah, loving the challenges. Currently I work with Monster in MotoGP, it's my predominant job, and love doing it. But yeah, always around short circuits, so the World Superbike tracks, you know, are a bit more, you know, places like Imola. It's a bit of a step towards this, but this is my first ever road racing experience, and you know, it's crazy. I've come here with an idea in my head, watching the old Duke videos of the TT reviews on tape as a child. You know, my dad's come over here for years, but this is actually my first time here, and I'm blown away. I don't know what to think.
Compared to 200,000 people attending Le Mans over a 3-day weekend, does the TT feel smaller?
No, not at all. Like, I think it's a different kind of buzz, a different kind of energy. You know, at MotoGP, everyone's crammed in. You see the grandstands fill up. But I think it's almost a bit more of a culture here, in a way, if I can say that. So obviously you have avid fans going to MotoGP races who are really into it, and the casual viewer as well. Oh, I'll have a day out. But I think here, everybody is a hardcore fan who respects everything, and it's almost like a pilgrimage to the island, if I can say that. You know, my dad's been coming here for 20 plus years, and he's had accidents here on a bike. Yeah, I watched the start of the Supersport race with him today. You know, it's such a really wholesome moment, and he keeps coming back for a reason, and I've never really understood that. But I'd have to say, yeah, here is just, it's very special, and I still can't put my finger on why. I'm a 5-day veteran, and I can't really find out why, but day by day, I'm understanding that more and more.
You've raced bikes professionally at a world level. Can you imagine what it would be like to race at the TT?
You know, nothing I've done on a bike ever compares. You know, I've been really lucky to race some of the best tracks in the world. You know, your Jerez, your Mugellos, your Imola. And Imola is something I can describe as maybe the closest thing I've ever experienced to this. You know, walls being beside you, houses in front of you. But no. But I mean, that experience at Crosby last night was, so that's my day 5 into it, 4 or 5 into it, and that was the first time I really felt, I get it. Sat there in the sun, on a bank with my feet effectively on the road, you know, just beside it, waiting, having a laugh with your mates, me with the camera, I'm getting like the excitement of it, waiting for them, because you've only got one chance to get that shot. Waiting, having a great laugh. Then you hear the chopper, and then you're like, oh, they're coming, the excitement builds, and then they hit that little jump at Crosby. And I just thought, wow, that's it. But it's not necessarily them coming through, it was the whole experience around it as well. The rare sunshine, which I'm learning this is not not natural, so, but learning that sort of process of it and what happens here, and yeah, that was a real standout moment for me last night. I don't think you really believe it until you see it. I've seen it on TV for 20 plus years, always understood that these guys are gladiators, but until you get your first day meeting you down at the crossroads there and watching them fly through 2 wheels off the floor, you can't get ready for that. And I think for the guys who go out to Crosby then, the Monster, it's one of those experiences like you know about it, then you see it, them take off over the jump. It's another level, isn't it?
After everything you've said about how special the TT is, does it feel weird how relaxed the Manx people are about the TT, closing the roads, thousands of visitors, etc.?
No, it doesn't feel weird because I think it's so ingrained in the culture. I said culture earlier, but I really mean that. Like, it is. Come on, make them up! exactly my point. Do you know what I mean? Everybody loves it, and it is part of it. So it doesn't feel weird that the locals sort of invite you into their gardens to get a shot, or they just randomly start talking about motorbike racing, which is like nothing there's very rare points in the world that people will just start talking about motorbike racing.
Do you think the Isle of Man and the TT make each other unique?
Yeah, there's no separating it, is there? It's one and the same. So, yeah, I'm still that sort of same guy you met a week ago. If not, like, going, I just don't believe it. Like, I've had experiences on motorbikes, and I don't get it. And I probably should get it more than a lot of people, but I don't get it. And I'm in complete awe of these guys. And, we had the conversation, you said, and everyone says, oh, would you do it then? Would you? Personally, no. Because and I said this to one of the guys last night, I said, my challenge now for the TT is to get that perfect shot. So like your challenge with this documentary is to tell the story. I'm never going to be able to replicate what those guys do. I have too much respect, too much, I hold them on such a high level. But now my sort of challenge here is to get that perfect shot.
We're here right next to the team tents, with riders and mechanics working on bikes while fans walk around freely a few feet away. Is this what you're used to in top-level motorsport?
For me, not really anymore. Like, MotoGP is very much a very corporate world, if I put it that way. Certain guests have certain accesses, but not everybody has this access. And this paddock, and when I mean this paddock is open, not like a superbike open paddock where you've got to have a ticket to get into the paddock. This paddock, well, the church is over there, and you walk up through the church and you're in the paddock. It's a different kind of open. It's just free reign. Like, people are probably walking home through this paddock. So, again, it's like what we said, it's one and the same, is it? Isle of Man TT, Douglas, grandstand, start point. That's it. It's just all the same sort of thing, and yeah.
The Monster Fan Park. That's bringing things I've never seen at motorsport before. Tattoo artists and hairdressers alongside a monster bar and stage. Wow.
It embraces the TT. Monster are trying to not change the image of the TT, they're trying to embrace it more. Like at GP, this doesn't really exist. Could you imagine someone getting a tattoo in MotoGP? No. Can you imagine it at the TT? Actually, it fits really well, and it sort of supports the message. Like, I think one of the other points I have is, I've never seen so many people with TT tattoos. And you see people with TT tattoos anywhere, leg, shoulder, and you think, why have they got a TT tattoo? And then you come here and you go, I understand it.
I need a TT tattoo.
Yeah, I understand it now. And I think that's what Monster brought here, It's the atmosphere, isn't it? This is I said it to my dad earlier, this is the last of the original, old school, raw racing experiences. Or probably sporting experiences in the world, From my knowledge, I don't think the TT's actually changed from the outside that much in the last 50 years, maybe. Still guys going down the same roads and people still sitting on the same banks. And I think that's what people want here. You can go to a MotoGP and sit in a box and sit 100 metres away from the track and not listen to the noise. You can do that quite happily. Here, why would you come? I also said earlier to somebody, I said, could you imagine going to a different sporting event and going, the really key thing you should bring to this event is a radio. Tuning into a radio and listening to that radio. That's a really old school way of doing something. But you see everybody up and down the banks, the stone walls, radio on, radio in your ear, to listen to what's happening and get live updates, because there's no live timing that can keep up with it quick enough.
You're right in the grandstand, but it's 37 miles around. You're stood in a field in the middle of nowhere.
No data.
No.
But little radio keeps you in touch, and I think that's those traditional things, old school things that people want from this event that they get. And I love that as well. I just completely love that. We all sit in MotoGP on our phones. Timing, they've gone through set to 1, set to 2, set to 3. Here it's you actually listen to a commentary, a story unfold across the big lap. You say if you said like we were sat in the Monster Park at Crosby.
Hey, Steve.
They're coming. They're at Crignabar now they're at Signpost, now they're at the grandstand. Oh, well, they're 3 minutes away, they're 2 minutes away, oh, they should be here any minute. That's so amazing. And getting that shot, it makes it like you don't want to miss the moment ever, because you know how special that moment is.
You've talked about the challenge of getting that perfect TT shot. But what if you got that shot of the rider third from last?
Still means as much, doesn't it? Because it's a time trial. You're not nose to nose with people. You're not side by side with people. You are sometimes in the race, and it is a race, but it's a personal battle more than anything. And I know from my own racing that racing is a personal battle a lot of the time. You try as hard to finish 10th as you do to finish first, and that's more than applicable to here. The guy finishing first is putting just as much effort in as the guy finishing 31st. But their goals in their race is different here. You know, in short circuit racing, the goal is always to finish on top. And I'm sure for a lot of the guys here, it is to finish on top. But their goal is to finish well, and make themselves proud of what they've done.
Throughout the week, you've seen how the weather, traffic collisions, etc. can all cause various delays or postponements, but the riders and fans just accept it. Did that surprise you?
No, because I think I have a little bit of an understanding, but it also just adds to the feat they're taking on here, if you understand what I mean by that. In a normal sport, if you have a delay, okay, whatever, it's like 5-10 minutes. But here it's a delay to make sure everything is right for these guys to be safe. And we've always, I think here you've got to show ultimate respect to what they're doing and what they're undertaking. You know, if you put them out in bad conditions, it's very dangerous, and what they do is very dangerous. Motorsport's very dangerous, but here is the closest to it. So no, it didn't surprise me, but it just adds to the enormity, how big the stakes are here.
Tragically, in yesterday's race, there was a fatal accident. Did you have an expectation of what the paddock atmosphere would be like today?
No. I mean, in the classes I've raced in the past, you know, we've unfortunately in World Supersport 300, which I've raced in the last few years, we've lost 2 riders. I know that kind of feeling of, you know, mourning, of grief, even though I didn't know the riders. Coming into the week of the TT, I think the average is more than 1 death a year here. So I had an expectation something bad would happen. Unfortunately, it has. I had no preconceptions. I fully understand what can happen. So coming in this morning, no. I sort of didn't. I had a sort of a blank slate to it, and sort of came in and just, okay, well, let's take this in actually. Let's feel what people are feeling. And obviously it's grief, being upset. But also people persist. You know, it does go on. Like we've had Michael win the Supersport race, the Birchills win the sidecars today. And that's a little bit strange for me. I think in short circuit racing, when we've had someone unfortunately succumb to injuries or pass, it's a bit more of a like, well, should we be doing this today? And it's a bit more of a, is this right? Should we send the other guys out there? There's more of a caution to it. And well, this is out the ordinary. But here it's a bit more of a, we're really sorry and everyone's upset and everyone grieves. But we go on. But also, I think when I was stood at the top of the hill for the first night, and you said my eyes were just open, and you see that tap on the shoulder and you hear first, second, third, fourth, fifth, potentially even sixth off the start, for sure. And you're like, they're going up the gears. They're going up and up and up. And they're fully focused. And they're
A blind drop.
yeah, descending into whatever you want to call it. Madness for me. Yeah.
Mildly controlled chaos.
All racing is. But this is just a bit more controlled in a way. They're professional athletes. These guys, they're professionals. They know what they're doing. So know the risks, but they respect the risks by doing it in a weird way.
Given the dangers, would you get rid of the TT?
No. Oh no. I think it's important for society as a bigger picture. But I think it's also important to respect tradition and respect people's values. And I think this island's tradition, and the big part of this island's tradition is the TT. If you got rid of it, it would be the biggest shame in sporting history, I'd say.
Now you've been once, do you want to come back again?
Yeah, definitely. I want to be back here for the first day next year, not come halfway through like I did. I want to see how this event grows in the future. You know, sort of like with my job now, okay, I'm not riding, but I want to see how my job can almost share more, like yourself with what you're doing with this documentary. You know, we're trying to raise an almost awareness to it.
I'm just smiling because behind you, perhaps the most TT moment of everyone. Dean Harrison raced today.
Yeah.
Hell of a ride. And there he is with his wife and his kids, walking down. And he's walking past all the fans, who do we know who he is?
Yeah.
But are just letting him be.
Letting him be, smiling, saying, well done today. That's unique. Like, imagine a MotoGP if Marquez walked out, swarmed immediately. But that's how much respect the fans have for the guys. I think that's the difference in respect. I haven't really seen loads of people can have a photo, which I think is really different. It's a lot of people actually going, well done today, John. Well done today, Dean. Great ride. Well done today, James. Anybody. They just say well done and they go, thank you very much. And they just walk on by. It's a difference in respect. It's a real difference. Like if that was MotoGP, oh Mark, can I have a photo? Oh, Vale. They don't want
that moment for me and them.
Yeah, they want a simple handshake and a well done. It's different. It's different levels completely.
Have you been around the course much?
I've been in the car. I've done a complete lap. But the thing is, like, you do it at the speed limit, like I did. You don't feel the bumps, you don't feel the undulations. It's like doing a track walk. If you do a track walk on a short circuit, you still don't see everything. And here's very much, it's worse here. You don't see the bumps. You can feel it in the car in a couple of the sections. Like after Ginger Hall, it gets really bumpy. And like Taku, who I was with, a really experienced photographer, he was showing, this is the bumpy part. You feel it in the car. On the bike, that must feel horrific, like beyond belief. And that's one of the biggest things. Like, I've done track days where I've been out on a 600, been on a 1,000. Okay, your braking points change 20-30 metres. They're going on super twin bikes that have got 100 brake and then on super bikes with 240. And then there's no warm-up sometimes between those races. You've got no acclimatisation and they just go down the hill and go, yep.
They literally climb off one bike.
Oh, and get on the next.
Get a drink and go and do the next.
And that's crazy to me.
And race. On the big bikes, they're doing 200 miles, then they get off and race 100 miles on a super track.
Yeah, which is nuts to me. It's nuts. I used to complain we didn't used to have a warm-up sometimes, and you go, I only got 2 laps to the grid. Yeah, great. Yeah, what's your excuse? These boys just go down the hill in the morning. Straight away, it's nuts.
You're warmed up by Quarterbridge.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm into it now. There you go, 2 hours of racing to go. Which is another big thing. You know, the races are so long. It's one of the things I'm struggling to get my head around. You know, I've done 40-minute Supersport races, and by the end of it, you're destroyed. The whole field is. And you know, if you look, and you look at the guys, and they're arguably fitter in some ways, leaner for sure. You know, you look at Michael; he's solid. He's like a rugby player in a way, and he's doing a 2-hour race at speeds we could only dream of. And I have so much respect for that. That's beyond my. I don't understand how they do that, to be frank with you. I've done track days at 5-6 p.m. in like March or autumn time in the year, and you're thinking, I can't see anything. I'm just blinded by the sun. And you're thinking, yeah, I'll call it a day now. These guys go out at 6 p.m. on practice week and race till 9, and they go, yeah, sound.
And they'll race in the evening with the sun set low on the west coast, and then practice, and then race day, the sun's the other side of the sky, right above them. It's a whole different setup in terms of lighting.
It just changes the look of everything. You know, you're trying to spot things and you can't see them until the last minute. It's crazy. It's crazy. I know I keep saying like, oh, that's crazy, this is crazy, but it is crazy. The whole thing is mental, actually.
It's the TT.
But it's the TT and we love it.
Do you think it's fair to compare MotoGP riders and TT riders?
For me, it's a different, same sport, different discipline, in a way. Like, you can compare a MotoGP rider to a Superbike rider, to a BSB rider, to a roads rider. And the MotoGP wouldn't beat the roads rider here, and the roads rider wouldn't beat the GP rider at a GP track. But we all do the same thing, theoretically, and I think that's the nice thing. We all have complete and utter respect for each other. But I'd have to say the MotoGP, the BSB, the World Supersport riders probably have more respect for these guys overall, because they know the risks that they take and what they do, and that's just another level. So yeah, it's fantastic.
At the TT, it's common to see riders racing bikes they've bought and prepared themselves. Do you think there could ever be competitive, true privateers in other motorbike racing?
The bikes in GP are over £1 million, roughly. But also, that's why I talk about the rawness of this. For me, my racing personally, when I grew up, it's a full-time job. You're training a couple hours a day. You're on the bike a couple times a week. And that's to try and achieve a level. But here, these boys don't have the facilities for that or the opportunities for that. They've got a lot of them self-funded, like you've mentioned, and they do it just purely for the love.
And you can't practice because there's
nowhere else to practice. I mean, you could practice, but you'd be arrested at Port Bridge. But
or you'd be really good on PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly. But there's nothing that compares to it. And you know, we saw Davey break down in one of the races. And that emotion that came out would never happen on a short circuit race, because you're like, oh well, I'm back out tomorrow morning, or I'll do a track day next week to practice. But he knows that opportunity is now gone until in the same race next year, or to get the practice, to get the setting better for Sunday's race. It's uncomparable. I mean, it's like club racing on steroids, this place. It really is. And club racing is, like, I'll always say this, it's the purest form of racing because it's the most accessible. And this is also accessible. Except the circuit's 37 miles, so it's a bit different. But yeah, but it's also like a family, isn't it? Like, club racing has that beautiful kind of harmony between builders, electricians, videographers, or whatever. You know, anybody can turn up to a club race.
How will filming your next event in circuit racing feel after experiencing the TT this week?
From a professional point of view, I'm going to take a lot from this, skills. From like a spectating point of view, I think it's going to feel quite slow. I think I'm going to sit there and think, oh yeah, this is a nice easy shot. Lovely bit of service road for me to stand on. Yeah, I think I'm going to feel different because it's a completely different prospect. Yeah, it's now something it's something that's been in my family for a long time. My dad coming here, and I've always watched it, always loved it. But now the love is like, oh okay, it's growing day by day. And I think when I first got here, I was quite unsure. It feels quite unsafe to me. And then it's like you start having these little moments, little experiences where you go, I understand more. So yeah.
Do you think this is what you got a bit closer in terms of being able to discuss and share that?
Yeah, because it's somewhere we've always wanted to come together. Like, you know, my racing career, 2012 I started in. and it's like, oh, we can't go this year, we've got a race, oh, we can't go this year, oh, no, we missed out this year, we've got something on here. So we've never been able to come, and luckily working for Monster, which is a fantastic thing for me, has enabled me to come, and Dad's just retired and he's able to come. So it's been lovely, yeah, having a lot of opportunity to see him. But luckily I got a good pass with him today and went up onto the grid, and it was a fantastic moment. You know, something we couldn't have dreamed of, but to do it was really, really special. You know, everybody's been so welcoming. Like the homestay program, for example. Like, I'm just in someone's house. I wouldn't put anyone in my house. I'm just in there. So yeah, I mean, I mean, I've seen it in the best weather you've probably ever had for the TT. Up there.
For this amount of days of constant sunshine, this is it's certainly top 3.
Exactly. So I've seen the island in probably the best light. But yeah, I mean, the scenery is stunning. The people have been welcoming and very warm. Could you imagine anywhere else in the world where they just invite a race paddock in and let it go? Just, there you go, have that. Have 37 miles of racetrack.
I don't know a country where they shut down all their main roads.
No.
2 weeks and go,
No.
there you go.
For madness.
Yeah.
It's something special, and it's something unique now. It's got to be maintained.
What are you going to take away as a memory of your first trip to the TT?
I'm going to take away a lot of respect for these guys. That I need to ride motorbikes a bit more, because I haven't been doing recently. No, what am I going to take away? I'm going to take away...
Has this given you your love of just raw riding back?
Yeah, it's made me want to ride again a bit more. Like, I know I can never do what these guys do, but... Oh no, I couldn't. Oh mate, you know I couldn't. I was way too slow, and I fell off too much. Yeah, it's made me want to ride. Like this is, and I said club racing earlier. It's the purest form. This is also one of the purest. I'd probably say this is the purest form of motorsport. You get close to the action. Everybody's working hard to do the thing they love. And that's for me, that's motorsport. You know, motorsport shouldn't be about the money, the sponsorship you need to bring, the hundreds of thousands you need for a ride in places. You know, even to do BSB you need a hell of a lot of money now. And here you see guys who are billed as electricians, rocking up in a van, putting a tent up, and just going racing for the love of it. And that's what it's about. So for me, it's definitely ignited a bit of a fire, for sure. And yeah. Exactly, and your fans as well. They've got me excited. It's like, you know, the late great Marco Simoncelli said, you live more in 5 minutes on a motorbike than a lot of people do in their whole lives. When I was in European Junior Cup, it was when Nicky Hayden was in Honda World Superbikes, and Nicky he gave us a talk. Like, we were sat down, big tent like this, because all the bikes under one, big awning. And all the riders sat there listening to every word Nicky was saying. And Nicky was just describing us like just love for the racing. And that's what this place is. It's just love for racing. It's the oldest race in the world. And it keeps happening in my eyes because of that passion and that want and that love. And that's the only reason. Like, if that had run out, it would have stopped. But it's going stronger than ever in my eyes. And this is my first year seeing it, so I just can't wait to see where it goes.
I can't wait to see where your generation take videography and imagery and capture the passion of that race.
Yeah.
And bring in that new technology.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about the future for that.
Yeah.
I'm a geek.
Yeah.
I'm a race fan.
Yeah.
I'm proud of my island.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see where you guys are going to take it.
And I think that's important as well. You know, this is because it's been so. You know, 1907 the first year. Quacks are right. That's good.
First year with the bikes.
It's evolved, and it's got to keep evolving. And like, you know, we have the same conversations in MotoGP now. You've got to keep, you know, this it can't become stagnant because you lose people, you lose fans. I don't think this place will ever lose fans, but we've got a nice responsibility now to bring it to a next level. and gain more and show more people. And I think that's quite a challenge, and that's so exciting though, because if we can bring more people into bike racing, and it's better for all of us. So no, we've got to push the limits off the circuit as well, like the guys do on it, because these guys need to, and I've always said this about riders, they put their financial on the line, they put their life on the line, they put their safety on the line. Well, let's give the credit and show what these guys are doing to a bigger audience so they can get more, because it's about supporting them, because if they weren't here, this wouldn't happen. Any racing wouldn't happen. The rider's the main thing. So let's grow this event, and let's show people this event to support them, because they're the heroes.
And finally, what do you say to the folk at Monster about the TT?
To describe the TT to people back at Monster, I'm just going to say, right, you want the rawest, you want the purest, and you want the most insane thing ever? Yeah, just go to TT.
Now then, so have you want to introduce yourselves?
My name's Stevie. I'm editor of Road Racing News.co.uk.
And I'm Stephen Rowell, Stevie's proud father, and I take photographs for Road Racing News.
Here we are, halfway through, well just past halfway through TT23.
Yeah.
It's a bit different for us, isn't it? We watch, we report.
Yeah.
I mean, Stevie, you've got how many tens of thousands followers on that website now?
Millions.
Yeah. I mean, it is the road racing website.
I was going to be to say that, actually.
But it is. I mean, I look at all the other websites and they do MotoGP. Yours is road racing.
Oh yeah, he just focuses primarily just on road racing. Yeah, that's all I wanted to focus on.
And everyone I've spoken to in the paddock, all the riders, road racing is a different sport to the tracks and circuits. Different characters, the bikes are different, everything. Road racing is special.
Definitely.
Oh, it's unique. I mean, motorsport first started on the public roads. Once did a bit of research, it started in an event called Paris to Ruin in 1894. So all motorsport's history dates back to racing on closed roads.
Yeah. 1907, I think. Yeah.
Yes, 1907. I think the car race series.
Car race series.
Yeah, first TT 1907.
Different circuit, different bikes. It's changed a bit over the years. I mean, how long have you guys been coming here now?
Well, I've been coming to the TT since 2009. You've been coming since
1976. But a few years off, like obviously from family commitments, and Stevie was tiny top.
Have you seen a big change?
I've seen a heck of a lot of changes. The one thing that stayed the same is the camaraderie, how the riders and the teams all come together and help each other. That hasn't changed. That hasn't changed at all. The thing that's changed is the corporate side of it, but that's progress. Everything needs to progress with times go on.
It's the price of success. As things become successful, money gets involved.
Yeah.
Different pressures.
Exactly.
Gone are the days in like the 60s and 70s where you could build your own parts, turn up, rock up, race this, race that, do whatever. Now it's computer mapping, telemetry, 12-year-olds running computer systems that are just, it's almost like a PlayStation in the pits, and but at the bottom end, it's still basically road racing, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. It's great to be able to walk around the work streams, and then you can walk down into the bottom of the paddock, and you can see the grassroots of road racing where Dad's brought the family across, got a bike together. He's got Uncle John or whoever it is comes across, and his mate from work, and they all work as a team. And then the big teams he's stuck. Well, a good story we heard the other day was a rider.
Tom Whedon, literally 15 minutes to the start of the race, the bike was only just ready on it within 15 minutes to the start of the race.
From getting it from breaking down in the morning.
He broke down in the morning warm-up on it.
Yeah. But one of the good stories was Jim Hind. He had troubles with his fuel tank. Michael Dunlop lent him the tank. He said, if he damages the tank, we'll sort that out after the TT. Well, I don't think you get that in Formula 1. Well, I don't know, I'm not involved with that. But you know, that's a great thing about the Alamac TT. Yeah.
And I mean, Michael, another win today. He's hunting down Uncle Joey.
Yeah.
He's probably on another level even for him this year.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
But you will definitely remember
his uncle. And I remember when he was a little
Michael was this, and when he first started.
Yeah.
You know, scrawny little kid, riding around, carrying his uncle's name, you know, his dad's name.
Yeah. And William
obviously
as well.
His brother out there with him,
and his father, Robert.
You know, the Dunlops are a story amongst themselves, but to me they almost epitomise road racing.
Definitely.
Billion %.
You've got to take your hat off to Michael for what he's gone through. None of us can imagine what he's gone through, and for him to do what he does, and he's done this week, it's superhuman in our eyes, isn't it?
I mean, for me, I love, you know, where our tent is down there, and Conrad Harrison, 2 tents down.
Yeah.
And every night, Dean comes down, and Vicky's there, the kids are there, and it's like the family, and it's like, Dean is Dean Harrison.
Yeah.
But then he's our Dean.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
you know.
So I said to one rider during qualifying week, Jamie Coward, I said to him, "You're like normal human beings, but then you put on your superhuman clothes."
When they put the levers on,
Extraordinary people's doing extraordinary things. I know that sounds a cheesy line, but
it's true.
It's true,
You know. And then I think where we're stood now, I mean, we're stood in Parc Ferme.
Yeah.
Which looks like a car park.
It does, you
know, an industrial site with a bunch of tents and things on it. 50 feet that way is the start line.
Yeah.
Or as we know it, Clancushie Road.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, there's traffic. I mean, on the walk up, we saw the guys lining their bikes up. Park your bike in front of the podium.
Yeah.
So pass your camera to someone. Someone grabs your phone, takes a selfie, or you go, and they're all lined up and taking turns. I mean, I don't think I could drive my van up to the podium in Formula 1 and ask someone to do a selfie. But, you know. Why road race?
I think I mainly cover it because of my dad. Really, I think it's from. I used to go to Scarborough when I was. I was only about 1, didn't I?
Yeah.
But I really remember first going when I maybe was about 11. So my interest really probably started at Scarborough. Then it just went into the TT. It was all the sport.
I mean, I'll be honest, Steve, you're not going to like listen to this because I know how shy you are. But I look at where you came from with Road Racing News, and when it started, I look in that media centre and I see big agencies throwing money who perhaps don't have the connection with the sport that you and your readers and your articles do. And I look back to Davey Todd, Michael. Those names when they were coming up are now, they're the ones to talk about. And you say, Michael, Road Racing News is a thing on its own now. It's not Stevie's doing that website and doing this, Road Racing News is there. So you've mirrored the way these guys have come through.
That's good thing. Always plan your just try and give everybody a fair balance, use as much as possible. Obviously you can't please everybody all the time, but we should try to do it.
I mean this year's we've here for 2.5 weeks and walking around the assembly area and talking to all the teams and all the riders, and every single one has asked where Stevie is every time, and every single one is what cracking reporting he do and how informative it is and how solid it is. It doesn't veer off, it isn't exaggerated, and I mean you can't get any better than that from people that are actually doing the sport. So it speaks for itself, and all credit to this young man here. Yeah.
Well, I mean, all credit to the three of you. The secret driving force and the secret source behind it all, Deb's.
Deborah's not here. But Deborah.
I mean, Deborah manages you both.
She does, yeah.
She pulls everything together.
And she does manage, yeah.
And this isn't leading you to saying anything. I've seen how the money has affected the TT and the bikes. I've seen how it's affected the media centre and how the push is on this global reach and things like this. And I think it's fair to say that you're a privateer team,
definitely
competing against factory teams.
Oh yeah, that's a good assumption.
And that's what. To be truthful, that's what we like, don't we?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
playing up against the big boys. Yeah.
Why the TT?
It's the pinnacle of pure road racing.
It's like Michael looked, and it's like if you win at the TT, it's the Olympics of road racing.
That's it in a nutshell, Steve. Yeah.
It literally doesn't.
And then that's why we later in the year we'll always come to the Manx Grand Prix, which really is the bridesmaid to the TT, and that's fair dinkums. But it doesn't get the support. It doesn't get the media coverage like the TT.
No.
And
what's the 100th anniversary this year?
Yeah, so there's a big anniversary this year.
I mean, I look at the Grand Prix and go, right, the TT is the money in the names, but the Manx is almost harder. You know, Michael, 24 wins. I've forgotten how many races he started, but they're racing the same course, but they're all amateurs on a shoestring budget.
Yeah.
There are 2 newcomer races. There are that many newcomers.
That's right. Yeah.
There isn't anything else. I mean, you could race the Manx and that tells you about what it's like to race the TT, but there's nothing before the Manx. None of them have any experience. They're sitting in that road for the first time on hardly any money, not the top end machine, so the speeds aren't up there, but they're going as fast as those bikes will go.
Exactly.
To me, winning the Manx is an achievement in itself.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, it's like there's at least 25 plus TT winners in the race from the Manx. There's like Michael Upshie, Phil Reid, Jeff Joe. Just name
it's not had the best of luck sometimes, winning the senior in the Manx. And that's the reality of this course, isn't it?
Yeah, it's you know, it's a difficult one.
We should say that one of the senior Manx winners wasn't involved in anything.
Yeah.
But for you as a reporter and you, Steve, as a photographer, I mean, you have that attachment to them, don't you?
There's no getting away from it because it's as soon as we get on that boat, short ship at Haitian, it doesn't matter who we speak to on that ship. They're all on the same hymn sheet. They're all into pure road racing. Because let's face it, for the money that we pay to come here, which is what we choose to do, we could go to the Bahamas for a fortnight in a 5-star hotel.
Oh yeah.
But you tell anybody that they would get to see it after all the travelling and all the trouble and strife they go through, they wouldn't change it for the well. And it's the same with all the competitors and teams. It's got such a following.
Now, we lost a friend last night.
Yeah. Well,
always had a grin on his face, always smiling. You could always spot him in a crowd. And, you know, up to Mark, our family. He's not the first. He's not going to be the last. How do you cope with those names and faces you've seen year after year and have tracked their efforts so closely?
Personally, how I cope with it is that I know that if I spoke to the parents, the partners, the wife, you know, husbands, it's a case of if anything happens to me, carry on. I don't want you to pack it in.
Yeah, it's simple as that. They're living the dream, doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
Nobody's forcing them to do it.
Yeah. And they are.
I think also from a reporting point of view, I think if if you are going to cover road racing, you have to be quite tough psychologically. Without being morbid, I think you do have to be quite tough psychologically.
You're there to tell the truth, and people trust road racing news because they know they'll get a balanced view, but it's the truth.
Yeah, oh, yeah, definitely, every time.
It's always been
the case.
And I guess in some ways, because of your independence, you can keep your integrity.
Yes.
You know, people read the article, it's like, you read something, you see Stevie's name at the bottom of it, you know it's what Stevie thinks. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he puts his heart on his sleeve.
You know, it's not written so this is what should be said, or this is what, you know, we're going to upset sponsors. It's like, that's what it is. So I know, like, the coverage of Raoul is there. It acknowledges everything he's done, and I think, is it fair to say from your experience that's how they see it? For them, it's what they've done, not what we've lost.
Yes, that's the thing. You got to celebrate someone's life. I mean, even though they've gone, you never forgot. And condolences with Raoul, top of our own guy, top of our own race. Always obliged you asking questions, and great ambassador for the sport.
Yeah. And like I say, we've lost those in the past. We're going to lose more. That's the reality of road racing. It's the reality of climbing Everest. You know,
it's the reality of climbing a pair of ladders to clean your windows out.
It's like people do base jumping and even like wild stunts and it's like, what was it, the space jumper jumped out from the balloon in space, Felix bounced out there. It's like people like that, you know. I mean,
well, kite flying is one of the most dangerous sports in the world. Competitive kite flying, it turns out, is lethal. Who knew? Cheerleading.
It's like jumping off rock cliffs.
You know, simple things. So there is an element of danger, and that's the challenge. Yeah.
Is that adrenaline rush?
If you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
I suppose when it comes to the terms of covering other forms of bike racing, I'd probably still cover hill climbs and things. It wouldn't interest me covering, I think, short circuit events, or as I call it, racing on purpose built circuits, because it doesn't excite me as much. It doesn't intrigue me as much.
Hasn't got the stories, hasn't got the heritage. What about you, Steve?
Because of Stevie, of what he's achieved in his life and what he does, I'm living the dream. Before Stevie, got his degree in digital media journalism and started his road racing website, we was just spectators like everybody else at the TT or wherever we went. But now I've got the opportunity, and I grasp it with both hands, to be able to be out with people like yourself, Steve, professional photographers, out there playing a part of the industry, if you want to call it that.
Would you say that it's almost got a stronger flavour now, being a spectator but with the camera in your hand to tell that story?
Definitely. Yeah. I feel so privileged every single day. I really mean that.
And I'll be honest, after you guys, I've got two other media people I want to speak to, but always in my head I wanted to get you guys, because this documentary is about telling the story of people who make the TT, not the story of the TT and the people who are in it.
Yeah.
You two and Deborah are the people who make the TT.
Well.
All the fans who read and contact, who see the images, who see the stories, the ones who connect, and time and time again, I mean, we've all seen on social media, time and time again, the pressure on the media companies is there to show the big names, and they've only got so many minutes to fill.
Exactly, yeah.
You guys tell the story of everybody front to back.
Yeah. That's always been here for us.
We got to.
When Stevie started, it's always been his
what's challenging about covering just 10 riders?
But those 10 riders were at the back of the field once.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
And you were covering it.
Yes.
And to be fair, Steve, don't do yourself that. Your pictures are good, mate. Stevie puts the words, but I see you out here day after day, you know, getting in those places, interviewing them, smiling. There is not one person who hasn't got a bad word for you, or hasn't got a good word for you even. Everybody knows you, and everybody's more than happy because they know you are doing it for them.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
You know, I mean, of all the people you come round, and you know yourself that they're artists. Photographers are artists.
Yes.
Artists have artistic temperament.
Yeah.
There can be characters.
Yeah.
There's not many people who just get on with everybody, who have so much respect from everybody.
Right.
You know, and that's earned. You put hard graft in to get that. So for me, getting you guys on film is essential, because telling the story is about people who tell the story.
Yeah.
And I think there's people out there who, if they saw this and didn't see you, would go, where's Road Racing News? You know, I think there's people who see Road Racing News and then go, I've seen them.
We can't miss
That's what I them. Still don't understand a word they say, but I've seen them. You know yourself, you can't make a story.
No.
You can just capture it.
It seems very strange to be stood on this side with somebody asking us the questions, because we've got quite used to it, haven't we? Yeah.
And I think the TT, rightly or wrongly, for whatever people think about it, it is a thing. It is a family.
It is.
It is everybody, fans, riders, press. It's everybody, isn't it?
They're all heroes.
They are.
I can't do what every man and woman that goes onto that Grand Country road. I kiss the feet of them all, because I can't do it. I can ride a motorbike, but that's a totally different thing what these guys do. And I've got the total highest respect, and I always have done from being 17 when I first started marshalling. My first hero was Barry Sheen, and he still is a big hero. Was Barry Sheen. He was a people's champion, and he was. And then Joey came along, and of course, you know, the Dunlop dynasty, but Joey Dunlop and Steve Islop. I mean, Steve Islop. Mike Harewood, I saw Mike Harewood when he did his comeback and he was on the Ducati.
Sports motorcycles.
Yeah, Steve wins Ducati, wasn't it? Yeah. So, to say one hero, I mean, this week, the hero of the fortnight, with no disrespect to any of the other competitors, it's got to be Michael for what he's done. And I've said it before, but I'll say it again. For what the man's gone through, I can't begin to believe what Michael's gone through. It's just a miracle person, and what he does on a motorcycle is out of this world. And so for him to be battling through what he's gone through in his life, I'd take me out of to you, Michael. Definitely.
And for me, and it was an unfair question, but I knew the answer that was coming, because I know when you guys talk about it, you talk about the person.
Yeah.
And for you, it's the people. It's not that guy on that bike, that guy on this, that race. For you, it's the people and the history and what they've done and
definitely.
That. So it wasn't a fair question, but I had to play it to get the answer I needed.
Well, yeah, we know what you like, Steve.
Because, and I think people need to see and respect the people, and it's the people who ride.
Exactly, yeah, of course it is, yeah.
You know,
yeah. The human beings as well.
Yeah.
You know, the human like being you.
Yeah. You know, the Birchall's walking past,
Birchall's walking past.
24 hours a day, they might go out there and do 3, 4, 6 laps, but they've got to live every other day.
Exactly,
you know?
Yeah.
And live with all that pressure and everything else.
Yeah.
So, Stevie, not the same question, slightly different one.
Yeah.
What's been your favourite moment at the TT?
Oh, so far, this year's TT?
No, since you started going.
Oh, right.
First time you saw them go down Bray Hill?
Yeah, probably first time I'm sure. That does blow you.
Yeah. It's, you can imagine it, and then you see it, and you feel it, and you hear it, and you can almost taste it, and that stays with you, doesn't it?
100%. Well, once you've experienced it, now else
That's your first hit, and then you've got to keep coming. First one's free, but after that, you know. Well, from everyone this side, Steve. Steve, thank you so much for everything you do for the road racing sport. And don't think that means you can stop. All right.
Does that mean we've got to
keep going more, do more. Thank you for this time. It has been genuinely an honour to speak to the two people who tell the story of everybody on this track.
No worries. Thanks very much, Steve.
Wow.